Breastfeeding isn't allowed if you're a teen mum. So, back in high school, one of my closest friends got pregnant and gave birth to the sweetest baby boy. She stopped going to school for a while to take care of her kid, but still did online school so she could graduate with her class. One thing we would do is go to one of the local food places near the high school on Fridays, and today we decided to go to this nice Chinese place that I frequent regularly, and the little old Asian lady knows me by name. The Chinese place has a sticker on the front door that says something like, "Breastfeeding will always be allowed," which is great since that's what my friend is more comfortable doing for her baby. After, we ordered our food and hung out in this little waiting area when the baby gets all fussy. She takes out the little cover and covers her baby and her chest as she starts to feed him. We keep talking until this woman and her son, who had to be around 10, comes in. I recognize the kid as one of the kids that I looked after when I used to volunteer at a youth center. He comes up to me and starts talking to me and then asks my friend what she's doing with the baby. Before my friend could answer, the boy's mother cuts in.
"A disgusting thing is what she's doing. Don't you know better than to do that in public? And why are you even doing that if you're only a kid?"
My friend has an attitude sometimes, so I jump in before she would start to throw things. "No, it's not illegal, and Mrs. L is fine with it. She has a sticker on the door." Mrs. L, being the little old Asian lady by the counter who was just oogling the baby a second ago. She smiles at us and continues to write some stuff down. The mother wasn't happy about this and continues with her BS.
"I'm sorry, but I'm just not okay with a baby breastfeeding another baby. Can you please just stop?"
she says in her frustration. Mrs. L finally cuts in, and in her broken English she says, "Nursing baby is a beautiful thing. You have problem? You leave." She then taps the order on the window that leads to the kitchen and apologizes to my friends for the woman's nasty behavior. She then looks at the boy, who is still next to me, and says jokingly, "Your mother, she dummy, right?" This makes the boy laugh, and the mother just grumble in her seat, trying to stay as far away from us as she could. When my friend finished and we grabbed our food, Mrs. L threw an extra order of egg rolls in, since they were my friend's favorite. Everything was fine until Monday came and I saw the boy again. He pulls me off to the side and tells me that his mum said she doesn't like me or my friend. I ask him if he still likes me and he says yes. Yay! Ha! Your mother, she dummy, right? Our next story was posted by a user, Reluctant Babysitter, titled, "Entitled Mother Labels Me the Office Tramp for wearing a swimsuit at a surf school." So I mentioned this in passing in the comments of another post of mine, but people seemed to want an explanation, so I'm a surf instructor at a surf school on the beach. It was at the end of the day. I just finished my final class. I'd done 5-hour-long classes in a row, and I was covered in water and wet sand. So I just wanted to get the thing off of me and maybe go for a swim before I left the beach. I was in the surf shack we were based in with 3 co-workers, who I'll call Sam, Joe, and Mick. Names changed, but Sam in real life has an equally gender-neutral name. I texted my boyfriend, who confirmed that he was 5 minutes away. I'd already finished my part of the closing up process, so while Sam put up the closed sign on the door and locked up the filing cabinet, and Joe and Mick sorted the wetsuits out and put the boards back in on their holders, I left the boys to finish up and went to the changing area to strip off my wetsuit. I'd gotten down to my tankini when I heard a loud, nasally American accented voice.
"Excuse me? Hello? Service, please?"
Seeing the boys were occupied, I pulled on my shirt and went to the door. Entitled Mother did not look like a stereotypical Karen. Long hair, tan, wearing a bikini with a big floppy beach hat and a sarong around her waist. Her daughter was with her, looking around 10 to 12 years old and like her mum's mini-me. But she didn't speak once during this encounter, so I don't know if she's entitled or not. I go, "Hi, can I help you?"
"You could start by putting some clothes on."
My tankini is covered about the same amount of skin as one piece would, aside from a strip of exposed skin by my waist, and I'll admit that the neckline is kinda low. But Entitled Mother is literally wearing a bikini with way more exposed skin than me. So I, customer service mode activated, say, I am very sorry, miss. Sam, can you grab my shirt, please? He throws my tank top at me and I pull it on. Better?
Not really. Is there anyone else who can take care of us?
Oh, sorry. My coworkers are a little busy right now. We're closing up.
Fine. I want to sign my daughter up for classes tomorrow.
I start to talk to her through the availability slots, where we can fit her kid in, prices, and requirements. While I do this, I'm gesturing with my hands and leaning over the counter to point out some stuff on the sign-up sheet. The entitled mother, interrupting me, says,
I'm sorry, don't you have a sweatshirt or something?
It's the middle of summer, in a heat wave on a beach. So me, clinging to my customer service smile, because I'm still technically on the clock, say, I'm sorry, no, I don't. Would you like me to carry on?
Is there no one else I could speak to?
You're making my daughter feel self-conscious. Me, giving up on being polite. You're making me feel self-conscious. It's summer, it's a beach, it's a heat wave. I do not have another shirt. Everything that needs to be covered is covered. And with all due respect, you're wearing less than I am. Sam, wearing a t-shirt and denim shorts, hears all of this and recognizes my tone as, I'm about to snap tone. So he looks at me, I nod at him, and he jumps in. Hey, I'd be happy to help you, miss. My name's Sam. OP, why don't you go,
Sam is a guy?
Last I checked.
I thought you were a girl.
Sorry to disappoint. Entitled mother then says to me,
Don't you think it's appropriate to wander around like that when there's a young man nearby?
Then he says to Sam,
You should report her to HR.
It's a beach. People walk around in less all the time.
It's inappropriate.
But you're wearing a bikini.
I'm not working, she is.
You do know this is a surf school. Mick and Joe hear the noise. Entitled mother hasn't raised her voice or yelled or anything, but they can hear the tone of the conversation and decide they should step in just in case. Mick and Joe are both wearing board shorts and flip-flops, no shirts. Mick, coming up behind me, says, Is there a problem here? Joe, at Mick's side, Anything we can help with? Entitled mother's eyes go wide. She looks between me and the three boys in shock and horror. Entitled mother, recovering herself, says,
I was just saying that
She was just telling me to put some clothes on. Oh, you know this is a beach, right? If anything, she's overdressed. Entitled mother can see she's not going to persuade me to magically summon more clothing to wear, and you can tell from her eyes she knows the boys won't agree with her. Then, a thought hits her like a brick to her hollow head.
Just what were you four doing back there?
Closing up?
I'm not stupid.
I beg to differ.
You're telling me she answered the door practically naked, and y'all are wearing barely anything, but nothing's going on here.
So Mick says jokingly, OP, we told you not to answer the door naked.
Don't you laugh at me, you little tramp. I know what's going on here, you perverts.
Sam, who is gay, is in all-out, double-over pearls of laughter. Entitled mother's daughter looks really embarrassed and is bright red with her face in her hands. So he says, You think that? And he trails off mid-sentence in favor of more laughing.
Oh, sure. Everyone protects the office tramp.
Joe literally falls to the floor, clutching his stomach, laughing. Yeah, now if you don't mind, we're mid-orgy, so get in or get out. It's just then that my boyfriend shows up, and he sees me, Joe, Sam, and Mick peeing ourselves laughing. Entitled mother looking homicidal, and the daughter bright red with her face in her hands. Everything okay here? Boyfriend comes over and gives me a hug, and I get the frankly genius idea to pull him in for a kiss in full view of the entitled mother. The entitled mother screeches some demonic noise that only dogs can hear, and stomps off, her poor daughter in tow, and that's the last we ever heard from her. Our next story was posted by user Shy Dry Bones, titled,
If you try to see your daughter again, I'll put you in prison for rape.
So, English is my third language. I'll do my best, but there will be a lot of misspellings. Sorry. I need to write this to take the weight off of me. It first happened when I was 7 to 9 years old. This is the story of an entitled parent, my mother. She was a horrible parent, and because of that, I've been through therapy since 8 years old. All her exes were rich people, so you can imagine she's a gold digger as well, and only loved me because she knew if I was with her, my dad would pay her for my child support. A year later, after the divorce, my mum wasn't happy with my dad only giving her 1,500 euros a month, and she also started to abuse me, so she had no idea. One day, I was in the living room waiting to see my dad when out of the blue I hear my dad's car. I jump off the sofa, and when I'm about to run outside, my mum stops me.
Don't go. Stay here.
But it's Dad, I want to see him. I try to go outside, but she grabs me and pushes me into my room.
Shut up, pig. You better stay here.
Even though I didn't see anything, I still remember a bit of conversation.
Where is she? Well, she doesn't want to see you. Why? You don't pay her enough, so she's always wearing dirty clothes. Since we can't afford them, it's your fault.
I see. I'd tell her we'll go shopping today.
No, that's not enough. You need to pay more child support.
Let me see my daughter. My dad tries to go inside, but my mum stops him. She doesn't want my dad to see not only how my mum spent all the money on herself, buying expensive clothes, leaving me with nothing but clothes people donated, but how deteriorated I am since the last time that he saw me.
Rape! Rape! Somebody call the police! Rape!
Let me see my daughter.
Then pay! Rape!
People start to go outside to see what happened, so my dad had to drive away. My dad started to pay more, but my life was still the same. He paid for me to go to an expensive school, have private healthcare, to be able to do a lot of activities after school, and a little extra for nice clothes. As you can imagine, I never had those. I was studying in a bad public school where I was bullied. I had public healthcare, never did anything after school, and I always looked like a homeless kid. My mum, on the other hand, was happy, but as always wanted more. Though my dad paid more, my life did not improve. My mum would forget all the time to take me home after school until a teacher called her at 7 or 8 p.m. and my classes ended at 4 p.m. Always humiliating me in public, using me to get free stuff. I was always alone because she never stopped partying, getting drunk, getting in fights. You can make an idea of how it was to be with her. My life was so horrible, I had to be admitted into a mental hospital because at the age of 9, I wanted to kill myself. I remember how my mother always told me,
"Go on, you're such a coward." Ha ha ha! I'd love to see that. You just want the attention. Nobody cares.
Whenever I said that I'd do it. Well, after she almost succeeded to put my dad in prison and take me back with her, she lost my custody, which made her upset. I started living with my dad, and I was forced to see her once a month. Happy ending, right? W-R-O-N-G, wrong. So this happened when I was 9 to 14. She tried to sue my dad for not paying her child support. Then, when she lost, she sued him for traumatizing her because apparently my dad cheated on her with a black woman and had a black baby. Totally fake, and she's racist, so that's why the woman was black. After she lost again. She sued him for abusing her. After she lost again, she sued him for 2 more things that I don't remember. When she lost all the cases, she sued her lawyer and destroyed his career. The poor guy can no longer work as a lawyer and started to focus on me. She tried everything to make me like her so that I'd return. Buying useless cheap stuff for me that I didn't even like, sending pictures of me when I was with her, telling her how much my dog misses me, and I can't take my dog because she changed the chip and now it's no longer mine. The new owner is her boyfriend who used to beat me up, etc, etc. It went like that until one day I said, if you want me to be with you, you'll have to be the one paying for everything, not my dad. She didn't respond and lost all interest in me. It's been 3 years without her. The best 3 fucking years of my life. Our next story was posted by user IronFrost456, titled, "A transgender guy doesn't need to go to the gynecologist, he's just here to spy on girls." So as usual, I'll be me, EM is entitled mother, and D is her daughter. A little backstory. I am a 19-year-old male, and I live with my parents. I was born female, but began transitioning 6 years ago. I am on hormones, and I have a beard and my top surgery, so if people didn't know me before my transition, they don't know that I'm transgender, and I've been with my boyfriend for 3 years now. As a transgender male, I still have to go to the gynecologist, and it's a really uncomfortable moment for me, but I've been going to the same one for more than a year, and it's always went well, until last week. Normally, my boyfriend comes with me, but he had something come up so he couldn't go with me last week. I could always ask a friend to come with me, but I thought that it would be alright. Oh boy, how I was wrong. My appointment was at 1, but because I had something to do that took less time than expected, I ended up in the waiting room at around 12:30. The room was quite full, so I had to sit down to a lady that was waiting there with her daughter. The clinic I go to has 2 gynecologists working there, and I had an appointment with one of them, but the lady sitting next to me had an appointment with the other. Since it was a really busy day, some people there had been waiting for quite a long time. The lady who I was sitting next to, who was the entitled mother, started talking to me, and I quickly realized she was under the assumption that I was waiting there for my girlfriend, or that my girlfriend was already with a doctor. I can totally understand why she made that assumption, and I didn't really want to correct her and have to explain everything. Entitled mother started to talk to me about how a great kid her daughter was, and to be honest, it wasn't really interesting. But I didn't want to be rude, so I just listened to her ramble about her daughter's academic performance. I was alright until entitled mother outright asked when my girlfriend would be there. Here is how the conversation went.
So, your girlfriend should be done soon. We've been waiting for her to finish for a long time.
I'm not here with my girlfriend. I'm actually waiting to see a doctor too.
What? You're in the wrong place. The doctors here are gynecologists.
I know, and I'm waiting to see one. At that point, I was extremely uncomfortable because I didn't want to be rude to the lady, but I also didn't want to explain my story to a complete stranger. I could also see that some other people who were waiting were listening to our conversation.
You're obviously wrong. This is a doctor for girls only. A freak like you has nothing to do here. You're just here to see girls get undressed.
Please leave me alone. I don't have to explain myself to you. And since I have an appointment, I have the right to be here just like you.
Oi! Get out of here! I don't want a weirdo like you to be here!
It was the first time that entitled dad had talked, and at that point, I decided to get up and wait standing up rather than to stay next to them. Many people in the waiting room were shooting me weird glances, and I hated it. Entitled mother then got up and walked to me.
You heard my daughter. She's uncomfortable with having you here. So if you don't leave in the next 10 seconds, I'm gonna call security.
Before I could answer her, my name was called in the intercom, and I was so relieved. But then I turned around to go into the appointment room. Entitled dad saw the small pin on my backpack. It's a trans pride flag. She must have recognized it because she catched up with her mother, who was following me, and told her,
Mom, it's not a boy. She's a transgender.
She sounded really proud of herself, and I was dying inside, walking faster to the appointment room. As soon as I got in front of it, entitled mother blocked the door.
I won't let a freak like you steal my appointment. Me and my daughter were here before you. Now leave. You have nothing to do here instead of trying to spy on my daughter, you disgusting lesbo.
I was really panicking at this point, but just when I was about to leave to avoid a bigger confrontation, a girl from the waiting room and her boyfriend came up. They basically told entitled mother that if she didn't leave me alone and go back to the waiting room without causing more trouble, they would call the security on her. She thankfully listened to them, but not without insulting me a few more times before going back to the waiting room. I was so thankful, and the girl and her boyfriend even apologized for not intervening sooner. They told me that they would make sure she wouldn't try to bother me during my appointment. When I told my doctor what had happened, she actually made sure that after today, entitled mother wouldn't be a client in their clinic anymore. So this is what happened. Thank you very much for reading. Hey guys, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Also, links for my Instagram, Patreon, Discord, Twitter, and podcast services are in the description below. If there's anything you guys want to see, be sure to hit me up in the comments below or on any of those social media platforms. And as always guys, have a great day and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.